Poe in the Woods, Chapter 12, Riley St. James. Grable shows me to my office. It's an 8x8 room painted sometime last century in dingy eggshell white. The laminated desk shows signs of wear at the corners and has a deep scratch along the right side. There's a single-unit bookcase stacked with paper file boxes. Two mismatched guest chairs face the desk. Under my feet, worn, Berber gray carpet with two stains by the door. Coffee? Blood? There's no window. The life-sucking fluorescent lights buzz overhead. I'm already plotting how to transform it into something palatable. Don't go changing the paint color. I have a feeling you won't be needing it too long, says Grable, standing at the door. You've given up before I started, I reply with a testy tone. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I set my bag down atop of the desk. The computer monitor is at least 10 years old, and I don't see a hard drive stack under the desk. Clearly no one has given any thought to my arrival. Good thing I brought my laptop. I wouldn't say given up, but it's a stuck case. After Ray Pullen retired, Hinkle and a few of us went through those boxes thinking that he missed something. You didn't trust him? No, it's not that. It was a different time back then. You got to remember we don't get but a couple homicides a year. Domestic violence, accidental shootings, farm accidents. Ray was the only detective in the county. He ran this case with little outside help. The county didn't have the resources. He single-handedly interviewed 465 people on this case. That's incredible. And now I see why it was entirely possible that he overlooked something. How could one man do all that? Pullen's a rare bird, investigates like a sloth, drove a lot of us nuts. But he was meticulous and thorough, especially after Grable notices the computer has no drive. I'll have Gail up front get you set up with a computer and get you linked in. You can use it for emails and internet, but warning, nothing from this case is in electronic files. I nod. After what? I say. Huh? You said Pullen was thorough after... and then you stopped. Oh, no, nothing. Grable's gaze shifts to the door. Of course, what little physical evidence we do have is secured in the lockers, not those boxes. Why'd you tell Mr. Laramie we were at Ground Zero? I press. Because we are. And I don't bullshit a man who's been relentless about finding his daughter's killer for 3 decades. There's nothing more in those case files to point us anywhere. It dawns on me at this moment that Grable doesn't have an ego. Not a shred, not an ounce. He's just genuinely a nice guy. A straight shooter. That's what's grating on me. I'm used to keeping up my guard. Detroit PD is full of egos. I don't agree. I think a fresh pair of eyes is likely to spot something new or overlooked. I guess that's what the state's paying you for. Grable lets out an exaggerated sigh. I feel the exhaustion as my eyes travel to the 10 file boxes stacked on the shelves. Can you walk me through the timeline? What am I looking for? What are your theories? How about some lunch first? I'm starving, says Grable. Men. Why is everything predicated on them filling their stomachs? What about a guy named Solomon Newton? What do you know about him? He's mentioned in the original report. Grable shrugs and slouches into one of the chairs. It creaks under his frame. He and his twin brother Silas were with Nina that night and supposedly the last 2 people to see Nina alive. I met Solomon last night at Pub Griffin. Award-winning personality, I tell him. You didn't tell him who you are, Grable says. No, of course not. It's not going to take him long to figure it out. They were never arrested because there was absolutely nothing tying them to the crime, evidence-wise. They were brought in for questioning. Yes, you can read their statements. I will, most definitely. Can we please grab a bite? Grable's stomach growls audibly. I'm not very hungry. I want to get settled in and start reading. I hang my jacket on the back of my chair. Grable stands and stretches into a semi-back bend. My back is killing me. Spent 2 hours on the river early this morning. Catch anything? Couple bluegill, one salmon. You eat fish? I tend to stick to land animals. I take out my laptop and plug it in. I pull a few items from my bag and set them on my new desk. Can you please tell me the box you think I should start with first? So, do you have a plan in mind? Grable passes over a box labeled Laramie, N, box number 1. I let out a little laugh. Guess it wouldn't have been too hard to figure out. The masking tape sealing it has yellowed and begun to peel off. I do have a plan. I want to retest all of the physical evidence. DNA has come a long way in 30 years, and while that's happening, I plan to read through every scrap of these boxes. I want to know everything about Nina that day, who she saw, talked to, where she went, what she ate, who she hung out with. We already did that. Then we'll do it again. I know what I saw in Solomon's eyes. What about the person who gave you the coffin tip? Oh, Misty Beckett. She lives for gossip. Check out her Facebook page. 3,000 friends, most of them here in Derby. Is there any kernel of truth to what she says? I ask. Not usually. But you're welcome to go over there and get your ear talked off. I smile and make my second realization about Grable. Not only is he overly friendly, he's too close to the case and everyone involved. I'll talk to everyone again on this list if I have to. Be my guest. Look, I was told you were going to be teaming up with me. What role do you see yourself playing in all of this? Teaming up? Oh, no. You have your job, I have mine. My man-hours are going into this community's current crime activity. He strokes his hand over his growling belly. That said, if you have any questions or want to run something by me, I'm here. I do have a question. What do you think happened? You said there was a suspect list. Who else is on it? At this, Grable reaches toward the ceiling and I hear his back crack twice. Nina was hanging out with a small group of friends that night. Not the cream of the crop, if you get me. There were 4 guys, another gal, and Nina. He slaps his hand atop a stack of boxes. Read. It's all in there. And hey, if you're going to keep quizzing me, can we please at least order a pizza in? Go, eat. I'll circle back around after I've had a chance to dig into this more. I send him off with a look, and I can tell Grable's relieved to be off the hook. Can I bring you anything? He asks, 1 foot already out the door. I shake my head. You have to eat. I'm bringing you a chicken salad. You seem like the kind of girl who eats salads for lunch. Patty melt, extra cheese and onions, and a side of fries with ketchup and mayo, and they better be crispy and hot when you get here. I glance up at him. Where are you going to put all that? He laughs. I give him a quick smile. Even though I'm petite, I am not at all concerned about my fat intake. I burn it off in mega units of stress. Grable starts to leave. I pull him back in with a final question that's more of a test. Grable, one more question. Do you think I can find the person or persons who killed Nina Laramie? Grable stops and pauses. He turns to look back at me. This cloud has been hanging over this town my whole adult life. Nina and I grew up here together. We went to the same school. I suspect Grable's burnt out, apathetic, or just plain lazy. Maybe a combination of all those. What he isn't is driven. But maybe that is because he is caught in their code of silence. You've heard things that aren't in these reports, haven't you? I pry. Derby's a small county. You can't believe everything you hear. And most of the time, it's not even admissible. He shrugs. You want a Coke? No. And he's out the door. Small towns, close alliances, kept secrets. Grable's got liability creased in his forehead. I hate to sound cynical, but I stopped trusting people years ago. There's a code of silence in Derby, and Grable will not stand in my way to crack it.